The Armadillo Archaeologist and the Ancient City. Once upon a time, in a quiet village in the hills, lived an armadillo known as Professor Adu who, unlike any other armadillo in all the land, had a passion for archaeology. With tiny shovel and pickaxe in hand, Professor Adu trotted off into the hills each and every day to search for ancient treasures. One day, Professor Adu was combing the hills, looking for anything of interest, when he discovered an old, dusty path that he had never seen before. It seemed to slink away from the village, so the brave and curious armadillo followed it deep into the forest. The further he went, the more stunned he became at the beauty of the forest. The trees were so tall, so old, so mysterious. The path grew wider as he trotted along, and eventually, the trees parted and Professor Adu found himself standing in front of a magnificent ancient city. He had never seen anything like it before. Towering walls of stone and magnificent temples and palaces filled with exquisite decorations and artwork, it was a sight to behold. Professor Adu could not resist the urge to explore, so he began his journey through the city. Everywhere he went, he found more and more evidence of ancient civilization. He discovered artifacts from millennia ago, evidence of grand feasts and ceremonies, and the remains of temples that had long since been forgotten. Finally, he made his way to a large courtyard in the center of the city. There, standing in the middle of a ring of stones and brilliant gleaming artifacts, was a remarkable statue. It was a statue of an ancient queen, seemingly made of stone, but with an unmistakable and majestic grace and beauty. Professor Adu was fascinated by the statue, but his curiosity was soon overshadowed by a strange, almost magical feeling that came over him when he looked into the queen's eyes. It was as if the statue was listening to him, and wanted to tell him something. Professor Adu stepped closer to the statue, and as he did, an ancient whisper began to fill the air, a whisper so faint and ethereal that Professor Adu almost thought he had imagined it. But it wasn't his imagination. The whisper spoke of a long-buried secret, a secret hidden beneath the ancient city, and it revealed that only the bravest and most curious of armadillos could unlock it. And that was how Professor Adu found himself in a race against time to uncover the secret of the ancient city. With the help of his wise and loyal companion, the armadillo set out to uncover the clues that the ancient statue had hinted at. At every turn, they encountered traps, twisty riddles, and strange creatures who sought to stop them from reaching their goal. But Professor Adu's wits and courage saw them through, and eventually, the Armadillo Archaeologist and his companion stood before a great stone door. The door slowly opened, and the armadillo's eyes widened in shock at what they saw, a treasure chamber filled with the most incredible artifacts and relics that the armadillo had ever seen. The chamber held forgotten artifacts of a forgotten people and a forgotten time, reminding Professor Adu of the importance of preserving and understanding the past. The savvy armadillo archaeologist knew that these ancient artifacts should be shared with the people of his village in order to show them just how rich and incredible their own culture and history are. So, with a heavy heart, Professor Adu and his faithful companion returned home and restored the forgotten artifacts to their rightful place in the village, where they now find a place of honor and respect in the hearts of the people. The village people were amazed by the armadillo's amazing discovery and celebrated Professor Adu for his courage and bravery in the face of danger. From that day forward, whenever anyone in the village told a story of adventure and courage, they always included the story of the Armadillo Archaeologist and his amazing discovery of the ancient city.